And when it comes to glowing, from the inside out, there's one final truth worth holding on to. It's never too late. Dr. Hinohara began many of his most impactful habits well into adulthood. He didn't cling to youthful routines or resist change. Instead, he adapted, he evolved. He listened to his body and responded with care. Even at 101, he was traveling, lecturing, smiling with the kind of joy that only comes from living a life that feels light, not weighed down by stress, regret, or overindulgence. That kind of vitality doesn't come from a miracle supplement. It comes from small, repeated choices that shape your biology over time. Let's talk about movement for a moment. Dr. Hinohara didn't belong to a gym. He wasn't lifting weights or running marathons in his old age. But he did something far more powerful. He walked. Everywhere. He climbed stairs instead of taking elevators. He moved with purpose every single day. And this is the part that most people miss. Longevity isn't just about what you do, it's about how often you do it. Walking 10 minutes a day, every day, is better than an hour once a week, followed by 6 days of sitting. Think about your own life. Can you take the stairs once today? Walk the long way to your car? Stretch before bed? These aren't just habits, they're investments. They're deposits into the bank of your future body. But movement isn't the only medicine. There's also meaning. Dr. Hinohara believed deeply in the power of purpose. He worked as a physician, writer, and speaker until the very end. He often said that people don't die from old age. They die from boredom, loneliness, or lack of purpose. Let that sink in for a moment. Your life doesn't have to slow down just because the calendar says so. You don't need to retire from the things that make your heart beat faster, whether that's helping others, learning something new, or simply being of service. One of the most powerful examples comes from a woman in Okinawa. She was 104, and every morning she would wake up before sunrise to water her garden. Not because she had to, but because it mattered to her. The plants, the routine, the feeling of contributing something to the world, that was her secret ingredient. Purpose doesn't have to be huge, it just has to be real. Maybe it's calling your family more often. Maybe it's reading to children at your local library. Maybe it's starting a small garden on your balcony. Whatever it is, if it lights you up, if it pulls you forward when the day feels heavy, hold on to it. Nurture it. Now, let's tie it all together. We've explored the food, the movement, the mindset. But here's what truly holds the key to a long, fulfilling life: the space in between. The way you breathe, the pauses you allow, the quiet moments with a cup of tea or a walk in the early morning sun, the moments where you choose presence over pressure. One of our Calm Voice Wellness listeners, a man named Jacob, wrote to us recently. He's 67, lives in Vermont, and spent most of his life working in corporate finance. He told us that after watching one of our videos, he began preparing his own meals for the first time in years. He started walking 15 minutes every morning. No phone, just birdsong. And over time, he said the most surprising change wasn't in his weight or his labs. It was in his mood. He felt calm, connected, and most of all, alive. That's what we wish for you. Not perfection, not a flawless routine, just consistency, just kindness to your body and patience with your process. So let's go back to where we began. You in your garden, 90 years old, strong, steady, clear. That version of you isn't a dream. It's a possibility. But it's a possibility that begins now. With what's on your plate, with how you move, with the way you speak to yourself in quiet moments. You don't need to chase youth, you just need to honor life. And here at Calm Voice Wellness, we are here to walk beside you every step of the way. We believe that health doesn't have to be complicated, it just has to be intentional. If this message has stirred something in you, if you feel ready to begin or begin again, we invite you to become part of this journey with us. Click that subscribe button and join a community that values simplicity, wisdom, and the quiet power of taking care of ourselves. Because the truth is, every moment you choose health, you choose to stay. And we're so glad you're here. Now picture this. It's a quiet evening. You're in your kitchen, the lights are soft, and there's a warm scent in the air. On the counter, a small bottle of extra virgin olive oil glows under the light. You drizzle it lightly over a plate of roasted vegetables and brown rice, watching the golden stream coat each piece like silk. This isn't just dinner, it's medicine. Olive oil isn't just a cooking fat. It's a gift from nature. Rich in heart-loving monounsaturated fats and powerful antioxidants, olive oil helps your body fight inflammation from the inside out. It doesn't just lower your cholesterol, it protects your arteries, it calms your cells, it supports your brain. And you don't need to pour it by the cup. Just a tablespoon a day can make a real difference. That's exactly what Dr. Hinohara did. Every morning, he had a tablespoon of olive oil with orange juice and milk. A simple routine, yet deeply intentional. At 100, he said it helped keep his arteries young and his skin soft. And looking at his life, it's hard to argue with that. Scientific studies back it up too. Populations that follow Mediterranean-style diets, where olive oil is a staple, consistently show lower rates of heart disease, strokes, Alzheimer's, and certain cancers. The reason is clear. When you reduce oxidative stress and chronic inflammation, you create space for healing, energy, and longevity. And here's something to think about. The very act of preparing food with love, slowly sautéing onions in olive oil, choosing the right vegetables, sitting down to enjoy a meal without rushing, that too is longevity in motion. It's not just about what you eat, it's about how you live while eating it. Now, let's pause for a second. We've talked about what to add to your plate, but just as important is what to remove. And for Dr. Hinohara, one of the most critical parts of living to 105 was his deliberate choice to avoid excess sugar and processed foods. Let's be real, sugar is everywhere, hidden in sauces, cereals, even some breads. And sure, it's okay to indulge every now and then, but chronic overconsumption of sugar ages your cells, damages your skin, and inflames your brain. There's a term for this: glycation. It's when sugar molecules bind to proteins in your body, creating what scientists call AGEs, advanced glycation end products. These AGEs accelerate aging, literally. They stiffen your arteries, cloud your vision, dull your memory, and wear down your skin. And processed foods? They're not just less healthy. They're often stripped of real nutrition and packed with chemicals your body doesn't recognize. Preservatives, artificial colors, hydrogenated oils. Over time, these substances build up, taxing your liver, your heart, and your brain. Instead of packaged convenience, Dr. Hinohara chose simplicity: vegetables, small amounts of fish, rice, and occasionally a modest portion of lean meat. His philosophy was not one of restriction, but of intentionality. Eat natural, eat light. Eat for energy, not just taste. He once said, "It's best not to tire the body with too many rules such as lunchtime and bedtime." And that quote reveals so much about his approach. He didn't believe in rigid diets or complex routines. He believed in listening to your body, keeping things light, joyful, and full of purpose. For breakfast, he would enjoy coffee, milk, and orange juice with that all-important tablespoon of olive oil. Lunch? Often just a bit of milk and some biscuits, or nothing at all if he was busy. Dinner was where he found his rhythm. Vegetables, a little fish, rice, and sometimes, just sometimes, a square of dark chocolate as a treat. And the key? He never ate to fullness. He practiced something the Okinawans call hara hachibu. Eat until you're 80% full. That last 20%, it's what saves your body from overwork. It gives your digestion space. It tells your brain you're satisfied, not stuffed. It's this kind of moderation that makes the difference between merely surviving and feeling alive. Now, I want you to think about something. How many times have you eaten a meal while staring at your phone, or rushing to get somewhere, or out of boredom, not hunger? We've all been there. But the people who live long, meaningful lives, they eat with intention, with presence, with gratitude. And you can start today. You don't need to change everything overnight. But what if you swapped one processed meal this week for something fresh and whole? What if you tried miso soup instead of canned soup? Or brown rice instead of white? What if breakfast became a ritual, not a chore? Here's a challenge for you. Pick one thing from what we've shared: leafy greens, fermented foods, olive oil, whole grains, nuts and seeds, and bring it into your routine. Just one. Do it consistently and see how your body feels. Not just this week, but next year, 10 years from now. It matters more than you know. You see, longevity isn't about living forever. It's about living well, for as long as you possibly can. It's about dancing at your granddaughter's wedding, gardening on a Tuesday, walking without pain, remembering the lyrics to your favorite song, laughing out loud because life still makes you laugh. And if you believe in that kind of life, the kind that's rooted in small, beautiful choices, then you're already on the path. At Calm Voice Wellness, we're here to walk that path with you, to whisper the wisdom of elders, the truth of science, and the stories that keep your heart open. If you've found value in this, if it sparked something gentle and real inside you, please consider subscribing. Not just to our channel, but to a way of living that respects your time, your body, your spirit. Because you deserve a life that doesn't just last, you deserve a life that glows. Have you ever wondered what it truly means to grow old gracefully? Not just adding candles to your birthday cake, but waking up at 90 or even 100, still feeling strong, sharp, and inspired to live another day? Imagine this. You're in your late 90s, walking through your garden on a cool morning, tending to the herbs you planted decades ago. Your hands are steady, your breath is calm. You remember your grandchildren's names, not just their names, but their favorite stories, the ones you told them every summer. That, my friend, is not just aging, that is thriving. Now, what if I told you the secret to that kind of life isn't locked away in a high-tech lab or hidden in a remote Himalayan monastery? It might actually be right in your kitchen, across the world. Especially in certain places known as blue zones, people are living longer and healthier than the rest of us. One of the most fascinating cases is from Okinawa, Japan. But the man who truly captivated the world with his age and wisdom was none other than Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara, a Japanese physician who lived to be 105. And he didn't just survive, he thrived. At 101, he flew to New York to give a lecture. He worked daily. He smiled often. He had a purpose, and he believed that what you eat and how you eat could make all the difference. So, what was on his plate? Let's talk about leafy greens. You've probably heard it before. Eat your greens. But we're not just talking about a single serving of salad with dinner. We're talking about building your meals around greens like spinach, kale, Swiss chard, arugula, and mustard greens. These vegetables are rich in vitamins A, C, and K, nutrients essential for your immune system, your bones, and even your skin. More importantly, they're packed with phytonutrients, compounds that go to battle inside your body, fighting inflammation, repairing cells, and supporting your gut. Ever heard of lutein and zeaxanthin? They're antioxidants that protect your eyes from age-related degeneration, so you can keep enjoying sunsets, family photos, and reading your favorite books without foggy vision. And let's be honest, adding a handful of fresh spinach to your breakfast omelet or tossing kale into your dinner stir-fry isn't exactly hard. It's a simple habit that pays off for years. Now, let's go deeper, into your gut. Fermented foods might sound like a trendy health craze, but they're a tradition that's been around for centuries. Think yogurt, kimchi, miso, sauerkraut, and kombucha. What these foods do is more powerful than most people realize. They feed the tiny ecosystem inside your gut, your microbiome. This isn't just about digestion. A balanced microbiome can influence your mood, your energy, even your brain. There's an entire highway of communication between your gut and your mind, called the gut-brain axis. And when your gut is happy, your whole body follows. Let me tell you a little story. One of our subscribers, Martha from Seattle, shared that after incorporating fermented foods daily, just a cup of kefir in the morning and miso soup a few nights a week, She noticed not only better digestion, but her anxiety reduced dramatically. Her sleep improved, her focus came back. No magic pills, just food that speaks to the core of who we are. That's the power of probiotics. They help regulate inflammation, support immunity, and even produce serotonin, the neurotransmitter often called your happy chemical. Speaking of things that make you feel good, let's talk grains. Not the white, fluffy kind that comes in a plastic bag, but the real stuff. Whole grains like quinoa, brown rice, oats, barley, bulgur, and farro. These are rich in fiber, vitamins, and minerals that help keep your heart ticking and your blood sugar steady. You see, when you eat refined carbs, the ones stripped of their natural fiber, your blood sugar spikes and crashes. That's the mid-morning slump, the afternoon fatigue, the brain fog. But when you fuel your body with whole grains, you get a slow, steady burn of energy. It's like lighting a candle that lasts all day. There was a time when breakfast meant sugary cereal. Now, imagine replacing that with a warm bowl of steel-cut oats, topped with fresh berries and a sprinkle of chia seeds. Suddenly, you're not just feeding your stomach, you're feeding your future. And speaking of chia seeds, let's take a moment to appreciate nuts and seeds. These little powerhouses of nutrition. Almonds, walnuts, flax seeds, pumpkin seeds, pistachios. They're all tiny packages of healthy fats, protein, and minerals. They don't just keep you full longer. They help repair your tissues, build brain cells, and protect your heart. In fact, people who regularly eat nuts are less likely to suffer from heart disease or cognitive decline. Even something as simple as grabbing a handful of walnuts before your walk can set you on a better path, literally and figuratively. At Calm Voice Wellness, Wu says, we believe health should feel doable. That's why we bring you stories and insights like this, to empower, not overwhelm. If you're enjoying this journey, if you feel even a spark of inspiration right now, we invite you to subscribe to our channel. Not because we need another number, but because you matter. And we want to be here for your next step, your next breath, your next chapter. Let's keep going.